So, Rahu in Aquarius. What is going to happen? And the answer is simple. It's a very, very simple answer. We don't know. You see, because Rahu represents something that's foreign. And for those of you who don't know what Rahu is, I'm talking about the north node of the moon, the north lunar node, I guess it's called. And we are talking about astrology from a sidereal point of view here, Vedic astrology, Jyotish. So Rahu now represents something that's foreign, right? Rahu is something strange, something that stands out, something that's very different. And Aquarius now is about technology, right? Technology on a global scale. So, what is going to happen when Rahu transits Aquarius for the next 18 months? We don't know. We don't know. But I'll tell you something. It's going to be something revolutionary that's going to change humanity forever. Forever. I started to do a little bit of research. Me and my fiance. I wanted to know what happened 18 years ago. Because Rahu is in Aquarius, which means 18 years ago, Rahu would have also been entering Aquarius. It takes 18 years for a full cycle of Rahu. Rahu stays in a sign for 18 months and goes around the entire zodiac in 18 years. Right? So I did a little bit of research. And by research, I mean I Googled what happened 18 years ago. 2007. The iPhone was released. Now I know what you're going to say. I have an Android. But the release of the iPhone, or the unveiling of the iPhone, was one of the most, if not the most, dominating invention or release of the 21st century so far. We went from just having little, those Nokia brick phones that you could bust on a wall with, I guess, right? But those old Nokia brick phones, your Motorola Razr. Well, besides a couple games on them, being able to make calls, having like a MIDI ringtone, right? It wasn't much of a revolutionary technology. But the iPhone, the smartphone, everybody has one. Even if no matter what part of the world you're from, you could be from the east, you could be from the west, you could be from the poorest part of India, right? Doesn't matter your race, your social class. Everybody has a smartphone now. And it has changed our lives in such a dramatic way that it's actually shaping our lives. We wake up, well, not me, I'm not on social media, right? But I mean, I used to be years ago, but we wake up and one of the first things we do is we check our feed, or we check our Facebook, we check our Instagram, whatever. And, what our feed programs us. And, the smartphone is like an extension of your body for most people. Not everybody, but for most people. You can't live without your cell phone. You don't leave home without your cell phone. But what about if we go to 18 years before that? You know? To 1989. What was invented in 1989? Well, at CERN, I believe it's CERN, I'm 99.99999% sure it was CERN, they invented the World Wide Web. And I mean, the internet was around, because the internet and, the World Wide Web isn't the same thing. You might think, what's the difference? Well, not to get too technical here, but the internet is just a network of networks. Sure, it's revolutionary, but what really changed everything was the invention of the World Wide Web, which is built on top of the internet. And, being able to, before you even had your smartphone, you had your laptop, your computer at home, you log on to MSN Messenger, right? Remember those days? You log on to MSN Messenger, you go to your Yahoo, you start Amazon, you start ordering things online. Basically, the whole world shifted with the invention of the World Wide Web. Also, the Game Boy was invented in 1989. And look at the world today. Most young people game, Most adults my age as well game, male, I guess. We go back another 18 years. The first arcade video game called Computer Space was released. So you just have this development of technology and technology. That's not even the crazy part. In 1971, the microprocessor was invented, which would change. I think it was the Intel 4004, something like that. Which would change the world of technology forever. Again, there would be no cell phones without the microprocessor. Right? So, we go back another 4,000. We go back another. Not 4,000 years. I'm thinking of the 4004 processor. We go back another 18 years to 1953, when the first transistor computer was invented. So within that 18-year gap of Rahu, you went from the first transistor computer and magnetic memory. By the way, 1953 was also the year the first color TV was released. And within that 18 years, you went from the first transistor computer to the first microprocessor. An insane leap. We go back 18 years before that, was the first international flight ever. In 1935, the neutron was discovered. The radar technology was discovered, or invented, I guess. IBM also released its first electronic typewriter. The first polygraph, which is the lie detector test, was invented. So, and some of these things, I guess, like the polygraph test or the electronic typewriter, some of these might not be revolutionary, right? But, I mean, most of them are. And it shows a trend. It's like, throughout these years, we could have never imagined what would be invented along the way. Like, let's say we were in 1970. It would be almost impossible, save for one or two people who are like the experts in the field, but for the general population, mass population, the rest of us in the world, it would be next to impossible to predict what the world would be like a couple years down the road due to these releasing of technologies. Now, you could kind of follow a trend and see here how it's building. We went from, the first transistor computer. I think also 1935, the first FM radio band. The FM radio band was invented or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but something like that, right? But we could kind of like follow and see a trend here where we see it's building up to these things. We had the first cell phone, and all of a sudden cell phones got really smart. I guess if you want to try to make a prediction here, although I said it's impossible, you could kind of see the trend and see where it's going and kind of make like a vague guess. And the vague guess is that it's probably going to be AI. To be honest, it's probably obvious. But how quickly AI is going to excel or evolve, it's kind of inconceivable to the average person out here in the world, to the masses, to the general population, right? And that's what I think. I think we're gonna see such a huge leap in technology within the next 18 months that it's gonna change the course of humanity forever. It's gonna change the course of humanity. And yeah, I think that's Rahu in Aquarius. I just wanted to make this video because I was talking to my fiance, and we just, out of boredom, I guess, or just curiosity, not boredom, but just curiosity, I just decided to, hey, what happened 18 years ago? What was invented? And then we saw the first iPhone, and it took me a second and a click. I'm like, wow, and look at where cell phones are right now. Like, I literally have my iPhone here with some notes on it about this video, right? And that's pretty much like what's gonna be happening in the next 18 months, is that we're gonna see some development of some technology that's gonna be released to the general public in the next 18 months, and over the next 18 years, it's gonna be a core part of what we use. I mean, who knows where it's gonna be. I said it's gonna be AI. It could be that artificial general intelligence just comes out of nowhere. It could be that they start making the first commercially available household robot that's capable of doing your chores. It's kind of really hard to predict. I mean, you have to look and see, like, Saturn is in Pisces for the next 2.5 years. I don't know. But I just want to, give a special, I guess, a shout out to Kapil Raj, KRS Astrology, because, he also said that it's a big mystery. I think I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but don't quote me. But, he pretty much said that, we don't know what's going to happen with Rahu and Aquarius, but it's going to be really strange. It's going to be really, not strange per se, but it might appear like that, right? And it's going to change the course of humanity forever. Things are never going to look the same after the next 18 months. Right? Guys, if you like this video, if you like these types of topics, not just astrology, but, anything, I would love to come on here and talk about esoteric things, esoteric, occult. I like to mix that like with a little bit of science, and but yeah, if you like this, give me a like. Please give me a subscribe. I want to grow my channel. This is my first video, and I've been really excited to make it. I've been very nervous as well, but hopefully I'll get a little better at doing this talking to a camera thing. But yeah, that's it. I hope everybody has a good one and enjoy the new technology to come. Peace.